Krav Maga is a comprehensive system of self-defense, third-party protection and fighting skills forged in the field, under real-life conditions, both in the battlefield and on the streets. Emerging out of the needs of a persecuted, resource-strapped minority defending itself against those bent on its destruction, Krav Maga was developed through extensive experience in the war for survival and in face-to-face confrontations. Today, Krav Maga is an integrated system incorporating clear logic, highly effective and systematic techniques, concepts and principles of action, as well as unique, advanced training methodologies. Throughout its development, the concepts laid down by Krav Maga's founder have remained constant: simplicity and efficiency, upholding the highest moral values and respect for all mankind. Grandmaster Imi Stay-Or, founder of Krav Maga, was born Imrich Lichtenfeld in Budapest, Hungary in May of 1910. He grew up in Bratislava, Slovakia, where his father, Samuel, was head of the city police department's detective unit. As part of his role, Samuel was charged with training his subordinates in defensive tactics. Under his father's influence, Imi started training at an early age and quickly emerged as an exceptionally talented athlete. As a teenager, he trained in gymnastics, wrestling and boxing. By the age of 19, he was already recognized as an international champion in these fields. Later, he focused on wrestling and competed as a member of Slovakia's national team for a decade. In 1936, fascism begins to spread throughout Europe, bringing with it a wave of violence against minorities. Entire Jewish communities find themselves defenseless, under constant attack instigated by the authorities. Imi, a young, proud Jewish athlete, is not prepared to put up with the humiliation and helplessness of the victims. Together with other young men, he organizes a group dedicated to the active defense of those targeted for attack. Under his leadership, the brave defenders successfully fight back, driving off the assailants using only their bare hands. It is under these circumstances that the seeds for an effective combat and self-defense system are planted, a system nurtured and developed by Imi a few years later into what would become known as Krav Maga. The year is 1940, and World War II is raging throughout Europe. Imi leaves Bratislava just moments before it is taken over by the Nazis, and he boards an underground immigrants boat to Palestine. After a long journey, during which he joins the Czech Legion of the British Army, Imi arrives in Palestine, which at that time was under the control of the British Mandate. He quickly becomes involved in the training and instruction of Jewish defense organizations, fighting against the Arab insurgency. With the establishment of the State of Israel, Imi naturally integrates into the newly established Israel Defense Forces. Due to his extensive experience and formidable abilities, he is nominated as the Army's chief physical fitness and hand-to-hand combat instructor. It is in this role that he begins to develop Krav Maga and to train soldiers, officers, and instructors. In 1964, after 20 years of service, Imi is honorably discharged from the military. He decides to organize his vast knowledge and practical experience into a system suitable for civilian application as well. As part of this initiative, Imi opens 2 self-defense studios, training many students and instructors, all the while adapting and improving the Krav Maga system for civilian self-defense as well as for the needs of elite military and police units. In 1974, at the age of 15, Eyal Yanilov begins to practice Krav Maga. Early on, he shows extraordinary talent, both as a practitioner of the system and as an instructor. He is quickly recruited by Grandmaster Imi to train other instructors, and he later takes Imi's place teaching higher-level classes. In the early 1980s, Eyal becomes Imi's foremost instructor and his closest disciple, as well as his most trusted assistant and advisor. After completing his studies in electrical engineering, Eyal starts training Israeli counter-terrorist units. Along with Imi, he writes a series of books laying out the principles of Krav Maga. Considering Eyal's substantial knowledge and experience, Imi decides to appoint him as head of the professional committee of the Israeli Krav Maga Association. In this position, Eyal creates and upgrades the curriculum, formalizing Krav Maga as a coherent system built around principles of action and unique instructional and training methods. In the mid-1980s, Eyal travels abroad, introducing Krav Maga to people in countries around the globe, first in the United States and then in Europe. He teaches the system to elite military and law enforcement units as well as to civilians. In order to manage the challenge of spreading Krav Maga beyond Israel's borders, Eyal founds the International Krav Maga Federation and serves as its chairman and head instructor under the tutelage and support of Grandmaster Imi. Imi regarded Eyal as family and as the natural choice for leadership of the Krav Maga system. For this purpose, Imi awarded him with the Founder's Diploma of Excellence and the first ever rank of Expert 8, the highest rank awarded to a Krav Maga practitioner. Imi Steor Lichtenfeld passed away in 1998 at the age of 88. To the day he died, Grandmaster Imi served as mentor and spiritual guide for Eyal Yanilov, and together they enhanced and developed Krav Maga. Since Imi's death, Eyal has taken upon himself the responsibility of leading and developing Krav Maga and taking it to the next level. He trains instructors and staff all over the world and has created a global infrastructure for disseminating the system. In practice, Eyal has trained all of the world's first-generation Krav Maga instructors. At present, a team of elite instructors, the global team, is assisting him in spreading the knowledge and the system of Krav Maga to numerous countries around the world. In addition to the many civilians training in Krav Maga centers, military and police special forces from around the world have also adopted Krav Maga as taught by Eyal and his team as their preferred hand-to-hand combat and tactical defense system. Over the years, the global network of Krav Maga branches has increased substantially, along with the numbers of practitioners and instructors. Different offshoots developed, all training under the umbrella name of Krav Maga. The International Krav Maga Federation, which was founded as a sports association, could barely meet the various changing needs of the times, and it became impossible neither to develop Krav Maga within the IKMF, nor to preserve the moral and professional spirit outlined by Imi. Therefore, Eyal decided, along with others, to harness his vast experience in Krav Maga, close to 40 years in the field, and founded Krav Maga Global, the KMG. KMG is the vehicle for Eyal and his team to disseminate and promote Krav Maga in an ethical, unique and uncompromising manner. Activities in various countries and close contact with those in the field enable tactical and technical growth and development suitable for each location and particular set of circumstances. Today, years after the passing of Grandmaster Imi, Krav Maga Global carefully supervises the professionalism of its instructors and the quality of instruction at all levels. Insistence on the highest moral and professional standards preserves the spirit and original path of Krav Maga's founder.
Emi was a master. He was a great human being. He was also a fighter and a warrior. I would like to talk a little bit about the different levels of capabilities and abilities, proficiencies. We can see 3 levels here. One is a level of an operator, a person who can punch and kick and do what he needs to do when he's being told. A fighter is somebody who has the spirit, the abilities, the urge to finish the situation. If a fighter will fail or even get hurt, the fighter, whether he or she, will be able to overcome the problem, to continue the fight, to continue the confrontation, to solve the problem, and to finish the situation. The upper level is a warrior level. The warrior is a higher level fighter. If a warrior will do a mistake and the situation will change, the warrior at that moment will give a new, different, adequate solution to solve the changing problem. Meaning, more or less, if a warrior will fail in doing one technique, he will immediately move to do another technique. And then with a new technique, will solve the problem. Straight low punches, left or right. Lower yourself while punching the straight punch. Shift your weight forward, turn the body appropriately, sending the shoulder towards the target. The hitting fist should be 45 degrees. The other hand is near the face. As needed, you can send the body a bit more to the left or to the right to create a stronger, larger body defense, getting out of the line of the attacker. Striking targets, different combinations. Combinations may include additional attacks, except the straight low punches, with different kind of strikes and other attacks. Different combinations, striking pads, fluent combinations of attacks. Straight and circular, for example. Naturally, attacks should be to all directions, different heights, different angles, different distances. You can punch with the open hand or with the closed hand. You can advance and retreat. You have to practice the ending, meaning after the series of attacks, that can be something between 2 and 10 attacks, it is reasonable. Move away, scan the area, circle around the targets. Overall, treat this training as bursting with a series of attacks to eliminate a danger and then think about continuing to the next mission. Striking targets is extremely important for your abilities. Example for different strikes, straight and circular, combining uppercuts, upwards attacks, combining vertical down, the hammers, combining elbows. Remember to move around. You should become a moving fighter, difficult to deal with. It is an integral part of your training, of the series of actions. Practice attacking to different directions, especially sideways and backwards. Start from fighting stance or from a passive stance. The initial attack should be naturally an appropriate, economical, strong attack. Hammer serves well. As usual, after you face the opponent, continue with multiple counterattacks, moving, scanning the area, and going to the next mission. Practicing on targets. attacks at the middle range, close the distance to attack at the short range. Use the different attacks, and the main thing here is to start with an attack sideways and then redirect all your resources towards the target. Remember the finishing mode. The basic advancing method with a skip. Advance with one leg in a small hop, light jump. You start to move with the advancing leg. The moment you landed, the other leg is already on its way towards the target. It is mainly used for kicking with advancing, from a passive stance and from a general outlet stance. Either advance with the front leg or advance with the back leg. From a passive stance, advancing sideways with crossing of the legs, this is back crossing. Also with a skipping advance, the moment you landed with the base leg, the other leg, which will be the kicking leg, is already on the air in its way to the target. From a passive stance, skipping advance with kicking. You advance with one leg and kick with the other. The moment you landed, the kicking leg is already halfway to the target. From the general outlet stance, advance and kick with the front leg. The back leg starts the motion with a skipping step. The moment the back leg has landed, the kicking leg, which was the front leg, is already about halfway to the target. Hitting targets, kicking with the front leg after the advance, after the forward crossing, and kicking with the back leg after the front leg has done the skipping step. The forward crossing is larger, about twice or 3 times more than the skipping step with the front leg. From the general outlet stance, kicking with the back leg without first moving the front leg. Start with the kick with the back leg, then turn the body and turn the base leg, turn the front leg while sending your hip forward. Hitting targets, it's clear to see the range of this technique. From the position that you are, here in the example, the general outlet stance, kick with the front leg. Kick without any telegraphing. Kicking with retreat. You retreat with one leg and then kick with the other. Sort of a skipping motion also here. Kick with the front leg after retreating with the back leg. Try to telegraph, nothing. Kicking with the back leg. Sort of switch of the legs, kick with the back leg in a fast sort of scissor motion. The front leg more or less takes the place of the back leg. From a passive stance or side stance, advance with backwards crossing and kick with the front leg. The moment you landed, the kicking leg is already halfway to the target. Relatively easy to cover here, couple of meters, 7-8 feet. Kicking from the place. From where you are, raise the leg and kick. Telegraph nothing of your intentions. Retreating with a side kick. From the position that you are, move away and kick. The moment you land with the base leg, you should already be sending the kicking leg towards its target. Another example for a kick with advancing. Here, advance towards the target and kick a defensive back kick, a straight kick backwards. Here, advancing towards the target, for you, is moving backwards. Use a skipping motion. Kicking backwards, here with a defensive back kick, straight kick backwards. Another example for kicking with retreat, moving away from the target. Here with a defensive back kick, you move forward away from the target and kick. move with the principle of the skipping step. The moment you landed, the kicking leg is already on its way to the target. Here we have the first three outside defenses against straight punches, this time with a stabbing motion. While executing the defense, you are straightening your arm diagonally forward and outside. For the defenses, one is the thumb out, two, the back of the hand is directed outward, and three, the pinky is directed outward. Inside defense with the palm against a regular kick to the groin area. Starting from passive stance, initiate a hand motion, add a body turn, send the other hand to the opposite cheek, move diagonally forward, clear the channel of the attack. The backhand controls the opponent's hand, while the defending hand is sent very low to defend and deflect the opponent's shin as early as possible. Continue as needed with multiple counterattacks and even control the opponent's hand. Outside defense with the palm against a regular kick to the groin. Start from the passive stance while your palms are crossed in front of you. Start with sending the palm diagonally forward to deflect the kick. Simultaneously turn the body and step diagonally forward, clearing the channel of the attack. At the same time, you punch the opponent with the front hand. If you cannot reach the opponent, grab him with the front hand, and the first counterattack should be with the backhand. The palm defense is a deflection that should be done very low before the opponent's kick is reaching your legs. The same hand defense and body defense can be used whether the opponent is kicking with the left or with the right leg. Finish the situation with multiple counterattacks and the regular tactics. Inside forearm defense against a high kick or a defensive kick forward. Start with one leg forward, either regular outlet stance or a bit of a passive stance. Start with the forearm defense, sending the forearm diagonally forward with the elbow under the palm. Your body defense is with a torque, with a turn and a move, stepping diagonally forward. As soon as you can, strike with the defending hand. It is the closest one to the opponent. If you cannot reach the opponent, then grab with this hand and punch first with the backhand. Continue with multiple counterattacks and as needed finish with moving, scanning and the regular tactics. The same defense, the same technique can be done whether the attacker is kicking you with the left or with the right leg. From a non-symmetrical stance, only the front hand should be doing this technique. If you are moving to the live side, it is easy to counterattack with the kick to the groin of the opponent. At a long range, and when possible, definitely should try de-escalate and avoid the conflict. Preemptive attack when you see the intention, the ability, and the tools of the opponent. At the medium range, and sometimes at a close range, you can defend and counterattack against the attempt of the grab. Just when the opponent's arm is touching you, you may have the possibility to avoid being grabbed and counterattack. You have been grabbed, bury your head towards the ribs of the opponent. Counterattack as soon as you can to the groin. With the other hand, grab the far eye or press the upper lip. Pressure is backwards and down. Counterattack as soon as you can. Don't expose your head. Move away from danger zone and do the next thing you need to do. Against the grab from behind, try to prevent the grab by turning towards the opponent and grabbing his hand while counter-attacking simultaneously. You should counter-attack to vulnerable points as groin, solar plexus, and the head. Release from an armbar choke from behind. These chokes put a lot of pressure on the windpipe. As soon as possible, turn strongly all your body towards the opponent. Emphasize strongly. Your chin should go to your shoulder. Raise the arms, raise your elbows high. You can even hit the opponent's eyes with your fingers. Palms like hooks. Pull the elbows down. Bring the palms of the opponent to your sternum. Turn the whole body. Get your head out. Step to the side of the opponent and counterattack with the knee to the groin area. Continue with more counterattacks as needed and move away from the danger zone. In this technique, usually the far hand is the first to land on the opponent's palms. Avoid grabbing the wrist of the opponent, grab his palms. Releasing yourself from the carotid artery restraint. The opponent strangles with the forearm and with the upper arm. Send two palms backwards with the hooks. Usually only one hand can grab the opponent's palms. Then turn the elbow to the outside to create 90 degrees to the opponent's forearm. Pull your elbow to your side, then you can turn your head and continue like in the previous technique. Remember, the chin should go to the shoulder. Take your head out from the opening, step to the side of the opponent, and counterattack first with a kick. Continue as needed. Release from headlock from the front, the guillotine. Simultaneously, you are doing 3 actions. Grabbing the opponent's palms with your far hand, striking to the groin with a closed hand. Your shoulder is circling and should be pressing the opponent's palms down. Emphasize the pull of the opponent's palms and the pressure of the shoulders on the palms. Turn your chin sideways as soon as you can. After the strike to the groin, strike upwards, elbow towards the opponent's face. Turn your chin sideways and take the head out. Finish with other counterattacks as needed and move away from the danger zone. Attacking from a distance, the attacker tries to tackle you, to take you down. Respond with counterattacks while balancing yourself to enable strong attacks. When the attacker is more surprising, do a forearm defense towards the neck and the collarbone while moving the body diagonally to the outside. Counterattack as soon as you can. Continue with the finishing modes. Attacker is more surprising, shooting towards the legs. Strong body defense, moving your legs backwards, a sprawl. With your forearms, stop and push the opponent down. Counterattack as soon as you can. When we are analyzing and inspecting the different types of dangers and levels of dangers concerning different types of grabs, we definitely can see that the grabs are divided to those who are less dangerous, such as the wrist grabs, the shirt grabs. These are not dangerous at all even. On the other hand, we can see very dangerous grabs, those that can cause you much harm, even death, such as the chokes and the headlocks. In the middle, the truth is there are some grabs that are a little bit dangerous or more problematic, such as the hair pulls and the bear hugs. Overall, we can see dangerous and non-dangerous grabs, and we need to deal with them accordingly. When we look at the non-dangerous grabs, it is very clear they are not dangerous. However, they can be accompanied by other dangerous actions by the side of the attacker. So the attacker may grab your shirt and try to hit you. The attacker may grab your shirt and try to give you a headbutt or a knee kick. The attacker may pull you at the arm and try to stab you. So in this case, we clearly see that the grab itself is not the danger thing. The dangerous thing is the other attack. So you have to deal with the real problem. Here we are usually defending the dangerous attack and then dealing as soon as possible with the attacker. If after the severe counterattacks that we do, we still have to make a release, we will do the release. When we look and analyze the dangerous grabs, it's very clear, have to make the release and the counterattacks as soon as possible to eliminate the danger. However, the attacker may also do another attack except the dangerous grab. So there can be a choke accompanied by a strike. In this case, we have to deal as soon as possible with all aspects of the danger and the problem, and naturally neutralize the ability of the attacker to attack.
Hard break fall sideways. Start by lowering yourself near your heel and then fall sideways with a break fall. Hit with the arm before hitting with the body. The low leg should be sent towards you, knee towards the shoulder. The base leg is near your butt. The other hand is sent to the opposite cheek. Finish with the correct tactical moves, such as with attacks. For right-handed people, roll forward through the left shoulder. Remember, 90 degrees between the palms. The front palm is directed sideways and is placed in front of the front leg. Send your head towards your shoulder and the armpit. Roll from the shoulder blade towards the opposite hip, get up in a figure 4 and get up to the outlet stance or move to any other needed direction. For right-handed people, rolling backwards through the right shoulder, sending 2 palms over the shoulder, bending and sending your head sideways to the left shoulder, rolling over your right shoulder and shoulder blade. One knee should be sent over your neck, the other one over your shoulder. First touch with the balls of the feet. Fall backwards, turn, and do a soft break fall forward. Start by leaning and then falling backwards, almost like a timber, and then with a fast rotation of the head and the body, turn 180 degrees and then execute a soft break fall. Remember, turn your face sideways and raise your head. High roll to a distance. In training, take the appropriate momentum, run few steps, and then jump over the obstacle. Start with very low and very narrow obstacles. This is a basic roll. However, it's being done in much higher speed and from height, so the impact is higher. Remember to use your palms and hands to absorb the shock and assist you in making the roll. High roll with a high jump. Take a couple of steps for momentum, jump high, turn your body and fall to the ground, make a roll vertically towards the ground. Your hands have important task to absorb the fall and to create the roll. You need to use much of resistance here. The head must be protected. Look to the side, turn the whole head to the side and towards the armpit. Release from a side headlock on the ground. Your 2 hands are under the attacker's body. Turn the body, slide under the opponent's body sideways and arch. As soon as possible, grab the opponent's eye or eyes with 2 hands. Pull the opponent's head towards your ribs and turn. To turn, you need to cross your legs efficiently. Press the opponent's head to the ground and get up. If you think it's appropriate to attack, attack as needed. Use the tactical finishing as you see fit. Release from a headlock from the side on the ground, 1 arm is caught. Move and turn your body. As soon as possible, press, preferably, the far eye of the opponent. Raise the opponent's head, and while sending 2 legs upwards, wrap the far leg on the opponent's neck. Pulling the opponent's head backwards, you expose his neck. There, your leg should land. Press the opponent down, scrape him off you. Turn sideways, roll sideways, 2 knees together. Attack as you see fit while getting up. Finish with a tactical finishing and counterattack as needed. Headlock from the side while the opponent is extremely low. Move away from the opponent while striking him at the back of the head, preferably with the heel of your hand. As you do that, pull your arm from the opponent's grip. Climb over the opponent while you continue to attack. Your far leg can do a hook to assist you in the climbing over the opponent. While you take your head out, try not to scrape it on the ground. After sufficient counterattacks, move away and use the tactical finishing. In order to efficiently defend the different knife attacks, one should be able to recognize them. There are four main types of knife attacks: the underhand, the overhand, the straight, and the slash. In the underhand knife attack, the blade is coming out from the side of the thumb. The attack is directed diagonally upwards into the victim's body. Usually the attacker is holding the knife with the backhand. While the attacker is advancing, first the knife hand is going backwards and then the thrust is going forward and upwards. This is the strongest knife attack one can deliver. The overhand knife attack comes diagonally down. Usually attackers in all these tabs are attacking multiple attacks. The knife is from the side of the pinky. Here it's like a hammer punch, more or less. Straight knife stab. When the attacker is striking like a straight punch, the knife is positioned in the palm in a way that it will not slide backwards. The blade can be vertical or horizontal. The attacking hand can be the forward one or the back one. The last way of knife attack is the slash. Here the knife is cutting from different angles, usually with a returning strike. Attacker is charging from a longer distance, trying to strike you with the knife. The attacker may use different ways of striking and using the knife. The distance between the attacker and the defender is usually around 2–2.5 meters, around 7 to 8 feet. As the attacker is advancing, balance yourself, usually with stomping in place, and kick the opponent at the chin or the solar plexus areas. Looking from the front, you see the base heel moving diagonally forward in a stomping action, taking the weight on the base leg. Elevate your knee and kick high, hit with the ball of the foot or with the point of a boot. The attacker is charging from the side. As the attacker is advancing and trying to hit you with the knife, kick with a side kick to the solar plexus or head of the opponent. To facilitate an effective kick, stomp more or less in place. The base heel will take the weight on it while advancing a little bit forward towards the opponent. The side kick should stop the opponent while he is advancing towards you. The stick as a common object. Hold the stick close to its end, and the first way of attacking is the way of hammering. Few attacks that are identical. Naturally, you can attack with other parts of the body as punches and kicks. Fluent and continuous attacks, like with the figure 8. Attacks can be downwards or upwards. First attacks can be vertical or horizontal. Here, horizontal attacks, starting inward or outward, the first attacks. One can attack in a hammering way or in the fluent figure 8 way. Start with a vertical attack from below without much of a telegraphing of your intentions. Attacks can be hammering or with the figure 8. Series of attacks with a stick, hammering and a figure 8. One can close the distance and attack even with the protruding part, the back part of the stick, the one close to the hand. Other parts of the body can do attacks too, such as kicks, punches, knees, elbows, grabbing, etc. Using the stick for defense purposes, hold the stick with two hands. Naturally, it should be a weapon or a tool that is strong enough, stable enough, sturdy to hold the impact of the attacking stick or attacking weapon. Send the tool to block the attack, simultaneously advance a bit and counterattack with a kick to the groin area. Finish with more counterattacks as needed, circle, scan, and move away from danger zone. Using the stick for defense purposes, here in dry drilling, send the stick held in two hands to block the attack as far away from your body as possible. Your far hand can be either the higher one or the lower one. When you send the block to the side, you have to turn your body to be able to block the attack away from you. Here with the 4 against 1 drill, we are demonstrating 1, 2, 3, and 4 attackers as usual, attacking the defender, one attack every 2 seconds. The attack is a grab, a wrist grab. It can be from the side, from the front, one hand grabbing one hand, two hands grabbing two hands, or two hands grabbing one hand. One should be making the different releases, the relevant releases, naturally to do the techniques as good and as clean as possible. Try to work on your decision-making process to dig out the best technique at the earliest moment with the best decision. As soon as possible, treat as many as possible of the attackers. Here we see some sort of a static more of a drill, and actually also a drill where the defender is moving much more. In this drill specifically, one should more or less allow the attackers to get a hold of him. However, one should not let the attackers get a very strong hold, then the release may be too difficult. In the subject of slow fighting, we start with one attacker, one defender. The idea is that the attacker will be doing fluently several and different attacks. The defender will act appropriately, mainly with defending. After you acquire some experience, one can do defending and a bit of counter-attacking. While you counter-attack, don't extend your attacks too much, not to disturb your partner from his attacks, from his fluent actions. Slow fighting, while both are attacking, defending, counter-attacking, moving, use as much as possible the basic techniques of the system. In the slow fighting, most of the time you are acting. Most of the time you are doing. It is full contact, however, the contact is very light and slow. The actions are slow. Try to do your defenses slower than the partner's attacks. Like this you'll reach a level of good control. Basically, one is doing many of the same mistakes in the fast and aggressive fighting like in the slow fighting. However, in the slow fighting, you can learn better and better change your behavior. We are simulating here a timeline while the attacker is approaching from a relatively longer distance to a closer one when the defender is sitting on the ground. Detecting the aggressor from long range, you may have the opportunity, the possibility, and also the will to move away from the danger zone. Do it. An appropriate solution may be to get up and talk to the person. Practice this.
הכל בסדר. אני אזוז מהשטח שלך. דרך אחורה, עזוב אותי. 100%.
He detected the attacker's intention and abilities. He also has a tool. Get up and attack as soon as you can. That can be a great option. Use a common object if it can assist you. If you detected the attacker at a closer range, you can and should attack from the ground. If you manage to start an act with a common object, great. In any case, stop the attacker from reaching you. the attacker attacks from a close range, all is left for you to do is use defenses, hand defense, body defense, and use the counterattacks as soon as you can. Use the appropriate hand defense, lean sideways, getting away from the line or channel of the opponent's advance and attack. Counterattack as soon as you can, here with strong kicks towards the opponent's leg and body. Finish by getting up, moving away, and going to the next mission. Another example, here at a close range, the attacker is trying to grab you. He sends two hands to choke you. Don't let the opponent grab you, don't let the opponent hold you. Defend, use a hand defense, body defense, move away appropriately, and counterattack as soon as you can. Finishing mode, as usual, get up and continue. Here at a very close range, the attacker surprised you. He's choking and pushing you towards the ground. A very dangerous situation, because if you will hit the ground while he's still pushing you, you will suffer much damage. Release and counterattack with two hands, or release and push the opponent away from you. As this is a release from a choke from the side, do like you have done in P1. Go with the push of the opponent, insert the knee between yourself and the attacker, push him away, and kick as needed. Finish the situation by getting up, more counterattacks as needed, and move away from the danger zone. In the extra curriculum, we have here how to escape the cross mount by inserting forearm and leg, and while you reach the guard position, how to climb on the opponent into a mount position, and how to get up from the mount position while attacking the opponent.
Our main aim is not to get hit, not to get hurt. Im used to say, rule number 1. If we have a low level of ego, in this case, it's easily manageable to reduce the conflicts, to minimize the friction with other people, and like this, we'll have less attacks directed towards us, less conflicts. However, in reality, at whatever level you are, you may get hurt, you may get hit, attacker may surprise you, and even there can be a weapon in the attacker's hand, a weapon that you couldn't see, and in the heat of the moment, when the adrenaline dump hit you, the situation that there was a weapon and you got hit by the weapon was not perceived by yourself. In such a case, you may have gotten hurt, but you don't know about this, and you don't know that you are bleeding even. So it's very important for you to check for injuries. When the time is right, meaning when you are at a safe zone, when you have no danger around you, then you can check yourself. And the best way to do is to pass your hand on the different parts of the body and then look if there's blood, if it's red. If there is injury, go and get assistance. Summon assistance to you. The same goes if there was somebody else with you. If you were attacked, check yourself and check also the other person. It's life and death. Do this. Train on it.